Hey guys, this is BerserkChip and welcome to part 2 of the Gundam Battle Assault 2 basic guide for Bolt Gundam. If you haven't seen part 1, please do so. The link will be in the description so it'll be easier to find. In part 1, we went over the move list, some basic combos, and the utilization of his hyper-armored shoulder tackle. Part 2, we're just going to talk about how useful his moves are and some basic strategy. Similar to Sandrock, Bolt Gundam is not really a character that you can just rely on doing big combos. Sandrock has that essential heavy shuttle toss into the light punch, light kick, heavy kick into the spinning move. But Bolt doesn't really have a combo that he can just rely on and do a lot. He's more of just using the utilization of his moves. I know I showed you a whole bunch of combos, but it's pretty tough to time and they're pretty tough to use in an actual fight. It kind of has to do with the fact that his normals are pretty slow. They don't chain very well. When I initially saw this character, when I initially tried him, I didn't like him very much. I didn't think he was very good. But a lot of people who play this game say he's really high up there on the tier list. And essentially most of that has to do with his hyper-armored move, the shoulder tackle. Shoulder tackle, similar to Epion's 8-way armored dash thing, it's an attack, it's mobile, it's got infinite hyper armor, so it'll go through any attack your opponent throws at you. Whether it's beams, shells, physical attacks, whatever, it doesn't matter, he's just gonna run through it. I think, you still take damage from getting hit by it, but I think it's a little bit reduced. And that's basically what it is. It's a hyper armored dash tackle and it's an attack, and it does knockdown. So you can combo it into his mega special, and that's really the only reason you would use his mega special to combo it in. It does more damage than other specials where you would do that, like with Ultron. It does way more damage than Ultron's, but you can't just use it on somebody. It's slow and it's easy to block. But the thing about comboing into it, it's not always easy to time, because it's a physical attack and then it's a projectile, and the projectile doesn't do as much as the physical attack. So you really want to combo into the physical attack, and sometimes it doesn't always want to do it, especially because most of the time you're comboing from knockdown, so the opponent can't get away. So you just got to be careful with the timing, or what special move you use for knockdown before using the mega special. Shoulder tackle is the easiest. I think doing it from the unblockables is slightly more difficult. His unblockable is very fast. It does knockdown. It's so fast you can combo into it. I don't really know how useful that is. It kind of defeats the purpose of an unblockable, but take it as you will. It does one hit. It doesn't do that much damage, but it does knockdown and it's fast, so it's pretty useful. His ball and chain move, if you press the notation twice after a hit or a block, he'll throw the ball again, or he'll swing it, and the second swing does a bit more damage. But I'm pretty sure they don't combo into each other, so your opponent will most likely block the second hit. And what's really unfortunate is if you swing it and it misses or it doesn't hit your opponent. I couldn't get Bolt to swing it a second time. I don't think it'll work. I think it only works unless you hit him the first time, so it's not really as useful as it could be. His command grab is pretty long range. It's one of there's only 3 in the game. There's Quinn Manthas, Bolts, and Burning Gundams. Burning Gundams probably does the most damage, but it's very short range and it's difficult to do. Bolt Gundams, I think, is the highest range, and it very easily combos into his mega special, but it doesn't do that much damage by itself. And command grab's not really all that useful in this game, I don't think. It's more of kind of just a niche move, especially since it doesn't work when you hit somebody in the air with it. If you hit somebody in the air, it just acts as a very weak punch, and in that regard, it's kind of useless. His normals are relatively slower than most characters. They have their uses. They're a bit longer range than a lot of the regular characters in the game. But he doesn't really have a lot of moves that chain into each other. His standing light kick and his crouching heavy punch knock up, but I find the standing light kick to be a bit more useful because it's faster and it's easier to combo into stuff from it. His air normals, there's one that I forgot in part 1, and I feel really stupid for doing it. It's probably one of his most useful moves. It's his foot stomp. It's in the air, down, and heavy kick, and it's just a very fast stomp, and it brings you straight to the ground no matter what momentum you have right at the time. So you could be doing, like, it's similar to Tallgeeze's foot dive kick, where it'll completely change your momentum in the air and bring you down. With bolts, it just brings you directly down. I think it's a bit faster, and it's an overhead, so it has its uses there, and it's pretty good for, like, wake up, like if you do it at the right time, like wake up pressure. And I think that I pretty much covered all of his moves. With Bolt, you kind of just have to mix it up and use all of his tools wisely. Be careful with Vulcans because they use a bit more ammo than most other characters. They're stronger, which is cool, but if you use them up, that's like one less option, and that's never good. There should be a part coming up in this video where I collided with Epion's armored move, and I actually, there it is right there, and I hit him through it and finished him off. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if it's the timing that I just happened to do it second, and that's why mine lasted longer, but I just thought that was interesting that they clashed at each other with similar but different moves. That's about it. Just utilize his moves. Don't rely on combos because it's not safe to do that with Bolt. And just mix in the unblockable because it's fast and it does knock down. And you're probably going to wind up shoulder tackling a lot. It's actually surprisingly safe on block. As long as you, like, if your opponent blocks it, either do it again or just immediately crouch and block. I don't know if there's a lot of moves that are fast enough to get you on that. Maybe Burning's jab. I don't know. But shoulder tackle is a very good move, and it's pretty much the only reason Bolt is as good as he is in this game. So that's about all I'm going to say about Bolt Gundam. Next, we're going to be doing Dragon Gundam. So that's going to be interesting.